Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news this Sunday morning. And it looks like the Alaska Senate race is heading off to a runoff. And this is something I warned you guys about a couple months ago, talking about calling attention to the ranked choice voting inside of the state of Alaska, and how it was implemented to protect people like Lisa Murkowski to continue to retain hold of that Senate seat in the future. The state of Alaska will be a Democrat state because of this ranked choice voting. It was placed in there to only protect Lisa Murkowski for the next couple of terms until she decides to retire. There will never be in there Republican that's able to win in that state, because of the way it's set up. And that was done purposely. It was supported by people like Lisa Murkowski and Mitch McConnell. They're in the state of Alaska. And now we're heading off to a runoff with the magic contender. Who is Kelly to show up to stupid by I'm terrible her name? And then of course, Lisa Murkowski, and we're going to see how this runs off, but based off the information that we already have, it looks like you're going to benefit Lisa. So let's go and take a look at what we have here coming to it from the Gateway Pundit. It says Alaska Senate race has led to a runoff election between Kelly to speak to Sheep aka the Sheep aka and dirtbag Lisa Murkowski. Yeah, she is. The Alaska Senate race will be a runoff between these two candidates. Neither candidate was able to reach a minority majority in the midterm Senate race. A ranked choice process will determine the winner in Alaska Senate race. Lisa Murkowski faces serious challenge fellow Republican Kelly to Shebeka, because no candidate on the ballot was able to reach 50%. The contest now proceeds to a ranked choice runoff as per the state rules. While the seat will be won by a Republican, the ranked choice voting process will determine the winner. Download report it. Lisa has been a thorn in the side for Republicans ever since he entered office. To Wicket Renault recently funded ranked choice voting in the red state allowed a Democrat to win the only U.S. House seat in the state. She did this for her own political ambitions. She is truly wicked. Murkowski may have lost a state to Democrats in the next couple of cycles. Murkowski also endorsed the Democrat in the U.S. House race. McConnell thinks is a great idea and spent $7 million on her in the Senate race while ignoring Blake Masters in Arizona. So yeah, McConnell wanted to make sure he had one of his lieutenants coming back, one of his yes men. And of course this race will be determined by the ranked choice voting. And based off of that, it's favored the Democrats in every race, and in this case, it will favor the Rhino in this race. I will be very shocked and surprised if it goes to Kelly. But this is how the establishment Republican Party is stacking against the odds, against populism, and against America First, against MAGA. They are absolutely terrified of what's going to come, and they much rather sacrifice the party to Democrats for the long term to remain somewhat irrelevant in the present. Anyway, it's a disgusting display power of the unit party. And then, this is some big news. Did I call it Joe Biden's student loan relief scam? And I call it a scam on purpose because clearly the intent here wasn't just to offer free money or free student loan debt relief for forgiveness. It was to pretend as if they were offering $10,000 in student loan forgiveness, knowing that it was totally unconstitutional, and that it wasn't going to go through. A little bait, and switch right before the election. A total scam because something was promised which they knew they could not deliver. Democrats playing Democrat games like usual with a promising amnesty, promising stimulus checks, promising everything under the sun in order to get elected, and then of course, never actually delivering or severely under-delivering. Well, what do you know? Literally the next day right after the midterms are done, Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan gets blocked by a federal judge. And now the Biden administration has officially halted the program, no longer accepting applicants. Once again, Gen Zers got bamboozled. There was never a threat on anybody's rights. There was never a threat to democracy. And there was never any real student loan forgiveness. It was all a mirage, a bunch of empty promises, and once again, the Democrats scammed impressionable young voters. Alright folks, well, totally unexpected. A federal judge calls student loan relief unlawful, deepening limbo for borrowers. President Biden's plan to erase federal student loan debts for tens of millions of borrowers hit a legal wall on Thursday, when a U.S. District Court judge in Texas called it unlawful and vacated the debt relief program. The federal government quickly appealed the decision, which came just weeks before student loan payments are set to resume in January. The program was already on hold while a federal appeals court in St. Louis considers a separate lawsuit by 6 states challenging the judge's argument for striking down debt relief, and Thursday's ruling judge, Mark T. Pittman, who was appointed by former President Donald Trump, wrote that the program was a complete usurpation of congressional authority by the executive branch. And clearly they knew this from the start. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, we play the quote over and over again, but we'll play it again for flashback's sake, she says. People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay. But he does not have that power that would fast to be an act of Congress. Okay, folks, clearly, those occupying the highest ranks of the Democrat Party knew that this action was They were totally aware that this thing wasn't going to fly, that it wasn't going to last, they did it anyhow. Why? You may ask? Because this is what the Democrats do. It's all a big game. They pretend as if they care so much about the common folk out there who are struggling, even though their globalist policies are the cause for all the suffering and financial hardship. We care so much, but they're always just playing games. It's nothing but manipulation. This is what they do in election seasons. It's what they did in 2020. And it's what they're doing in 2022. And clearly, it had an impact. Gen Zers showed up to vote. We cover the exit polls. Gen Z as 18 to 24-year-olds represented 7% of the total people that showed up to vote for the 2022 midterms. That's quite significant. And they broke for Democrats at 61% support. Let me ask you, do you think it had something to do with promising student loan forgiveness targeting university students, saying we're gonna forgive your student loan debts? Just vote for us? Of course it did. And it was a last-minute scam. If Joe Biden actually wanted to do it, I mean, he ran on it, he could have done it the moment he came into office. Do you think it's a coincidence that a couple months before the election, he uses his executive power that doesn't exist to cancel student loan debt with the most shoddy HEROES Act excuse that you could possibly imagine? Of course, it's no coincidence. It was all part of the plan, just like it always is. Democrats don't mean what they say, they're just playing a game, and now all of a sudden, Democrats are cheering on new jaw-dropping initial youth voting numbers out of the University of Michigan. 94% of students voted for Gretchen Whitmer, only 6% voted for Tudor Dixon. Here's the bottom line. Young people were and will be the key for Democrats' success. Time to pay attention and invest in General Z. The source comes from this Twitter individual: University of Michigan campus, Ann Arbor. Gretchen Whitmer. 8,842 votes, 94%. Tudor Dixon, 573 votes, 6%. Good job, university students. Congratulations. He plays itself. You think that they would learn after the 2020 election, where Joe Biden promised the socialist stream and then immediately dropped it the moment he got elected, where Joe Biden ran on a platform of police reform and standing up for the black community. He was the candidate for oppressed minority groups, is what he told you. Vote for me or you ain't black. And then, of course, after getting elected, he's done absolutely nothing to benefit any minority community. I mean, what a slap in the face is show up to the polls to vote blue no matter who, after getting all your university friends to do the same. Yay. We got Gretchen Whitmer elected. Yay. We voted for Democrats. The next day, student loan forgiveness. Government stops taking applications after ruling. Fantastic job, young people. I swear the voting age needs to be raised to like 26 or something. You should have at least a 5-year history of paying taxes before being able to vote, because these people are just too gullible. They fall for it every time. The non-stop Democrats scams. Everything the Democrats do and say is either misleading or an outright lie. Everything they run on is almost always garbage meant to emotionally manipulate you, to scam you for your support. I mean, here's a great example. We must stop the red wave. The 2022 election is about democracy. If the Republicans manage to win, Madam Autocracy is over. American democracy as we know it is coming to an end over and over again. How many times do we hear the same damn line? Well, look at that, Republicans won the House. Where's all the fear-mongering about American democracy gone? I mean, Republicans won, Democrats lost control of the House of Representatives. You would think that people would be panicking, running on fire, yelling, screaming, democracy is over. The Republicans are coming. The Republicans are coming. Democracy is over. But all of a sudden after the election, you don't hear anything about democracy because it was never true to begin with. It was a political game. It was a game meant to target low information voters. You may go to university and think you're educated. What are you, 19 years old? No life experience, brain not even fully developed, never had a real job. Never paid taxes, never ran a business, don't have to provide for your family. You're not educated. You're low information, low experience. And that's why the Democrats can take advantage of you. Oh, and let's not forget this manipulation. Joe Biden strategically releasing strategic oil reserves, artificially reducing the price of gas in America a couple of weeks before the election. I wonder if he's going to continue doing that after the midterms here. Right. Dems have given up on the working class and business owners, and they're targeting new demographics, entirely unmarried women, a demographic that they've largely helped to create with left-wing social culture, the destruction of marriage, the destruction of opportunity. They've created a political beast of unmarried women that are dependent on the state, and they know that they can count on that vote to show up every single season for them. All they got to do is promise more welfare, promise more things. And of course the youth vote and the elitist Democrat Starbucks vote, the youth vote in the unmarried vote. All they got to do is promise things and the elitist Starbucks vote, it's nothing but ego. We're doing something, it's almost like donating to charity. Vote for Democrats once a year and your conscience is clear, whole thing's a scam. The whole thing is a joke. And of course Democrats will keep doing what Democrats do, causing problems, making people's lives worse, and then showing up, swooping in as the savior of the day, only to continue to make things worse, perpetuate the same problems, continue to make it harder to own a business, to run a business, make things more expensive, create less opportunity, credit your schools, less freedom. They'll continue creating a low information government dependent mob that they know that they can rely on. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Ladies and gentlemen, give me your thoughts below. And hit subscribe right now.